Alright, welcome everyone. If your Dragon's Cove runs keep falling apart, people are randomly dying, and nobody really knows why. Yeah, this video is for you, because this dungeon has that special combination of looks easy and silently destroys your entire squad if you mess up one thing. And the worst part? Most wipes aren't bad gear, they're just bad decisions. Wrong timing, ignored mechanics, someone picking up loot early like it's a race. Suddenly the whole run goes downhill. So in this video I'm going to break everything down properly, how the dungeon works, how rewards actually scale and what each dragon is doing, so you can stop guessing, stop wiping and stop pretending that was just bad luck. Let's fix your runs. There are 7 dragons in total and you will always fight all of them. The only difference between runs is the order they appear in. Some dragons are much harder than others, so depending on the order, your run can either feel smooth or like the game has a personal issue with you. Preparation before the first fight. When you enter, you lose all your chai because clearly you didn't need that. You'll have about 60 seconds before the first dragon spawns. Use this time to meditate and build up to 3 sparks and 100 shei chai. If you don't, the first fight will remind you why you should have. To enter Dragon's Cove, talk to the Dragon Shrine, go to Quest Related and select Dragon's Cove. Your squad has about 30 seconds to enter, and this part is very important. Do not go in early. If you do, the dragons get a 100% HP buff, which basically turns the run into a team building exercise about patience. The more dragons you kill, the more tokens you earn. Rewards increase as you progress, with the final dragons giving the biggest payouts. If you clear all 7 dragons, the minimum reward is 280 tokens, even if you contributed the bare minimum. From there, top 3 in a category gives plus 40 tokens, rank 1 or 2 gives an extra plus 5. That brings the maximum possible reward to 405 tokens, which sounds great, until you realise you have to outperform everyone in all 3 categories. Good luck with that. Shadow Dragon. We're starting off with one of the easier dragons, which is great because it gives you a false sense of confidence. Shortly after the fight begins, the dragon will push everyone back and deal moderate damage. This can be ignored with immunities or movement resistance. A few seconds later it performs an AoE attack that hits everyone. It's not particularly dangerous, just something to be aware of. The main mechanic here is the stay together or separate mechanic. You'll get a message telling you whether to group up or spread out, and you do actually need to follow it. That said, it is slightly bugged, so even if you do everything correctly, it might still decide you're wrong. There's also a charge up attack where the dragon stands still and powers up. It looks threatening, but it's usually not a big deal. Overall, simple fight, just don't ignore instructions and you'll be fine. Alpha Dragon. This one is also fairly easy but a bit more annoying. Right at the start it applies a team-wide silence, meaning you can't use any abilities. This can be countered with Primal Howl from a Dustblade or by using immunities. A few seconds in, it applies a strong wood damage over time effect. This should be purified or removed with Spark, otherwise it will tick pretty hard. It also spawns small pools on the ground that deal damage. You can avoid these by moving slightly, and you can usually still attack the boss without stepping into them. Finally, there's a pull mechanic that drags whoever has aggro toward the boss. It's mostly just annoying and can interrupt skills, but staying close to the boss helps reduce the impact. Glass house living got a price on you. Cleric wings like angel on loan. To silence hit, now you're gone. You say support like a noble and brave, but half Water Dragon. Now we're getting into one of the harder fights. Right at the start, the dragon applies a strong metal debuff that deals damage over time and may also slow your channeling. It's best to go in with immunity already active or react quickly with Spark. After losing some health, the dragon will attempt to heal itself. You'll get a warning before this happens. This heal must be interrupted. If it goes through, you're basically undoing your progress and extending the fight for no reason. Classes with reliable interrupts, especially assassins, are very useful here. Right after the heal attempt, the dragon spawns large damaging pools across the area. These hurt a lot. The safest play is to wait for them to disappear before reapplying debuffs and continuing damage. This fight is mostly about control and timing. Red Smoke Dragon. Back to something a bit more forgiving. This is one of the easier dragons, assuming nothing breaks, which is not guaranteed. Its main mechanic is the paralysing seed. After some time, the dragon becomes completely immune to all damage and debuffs and spawns a seed. To continue the fight, you need to kill the seed. Magic damage works better here, but everyone should help. While the seed is alive, do not use debuffs. They will have absolutely no effect and you're just wasting them. Once the seed is destroyed, the dragon becomes vulnerable again, and that's your window to apply debuffs and burst it down. There's also an opening debuff that can deal significant damage, so use Purify, Immunity or Spark to deal with it. Now, the catch: this boss is buggy. The seed can spawn outside the playable area, which makes the run impossible to complete. And if you reset at the wrong time, the dragon can stay permanently immune, so try not to do that. Wyvern. This is where things start getting properly annoying. The Wyvern constantly spawns purge and stun orbs that target random players. These can disrupt everything. Your buffs disappear, you get stunned, and suddenly you're just watching your character struggle. Immunities help a lot here. At around 60% HP, the dragon will enrage. You'll get a 5-second warning before it happens, so you have time to prepare. Once enraged, it gains multiple buffs: attack speed, movement speed, and cast speed. Basically, everything you don't want it to have. These buffs can be purged and should be removed immediately. The good news is this only happens once, so if the fight gets messy and you reset after enrage, it won't happen again. Fire Dragon. This is one of the hardest dragons in the dungeon, and also one of the most unreliable. At the start, it applies a heavy channeling slow, around 90% for about 15 seconds. You'll feel like everything you cast is happening in slow motion. Use Immunity or Purify to deal with it. Then comes the Chi Blast. The dragon will try to fill your Chi bar, and you need to Spark to remove it. In theory, the more THI you have, the more damage you take. In reality, it sometimes just kills you anyway. During this phase, a random player may also be frozen, preventing them from doing anything, which makes reacting properly difficult. After that, the dragon spawns fire souls. These increase its resistance and need to be killed, preferably by magic classes. If you ignore them, more will spawn, and then more, until the fight turns into chaos. The dragon may also remove debuffs and gain regeneration or damage reduction, which can be purged. This fight is a mix of mechanics, pressure, and hoping the game cooperates. Armoured Dragon. We're finishing with a tanky one. This dragon has very high physical resistance, but the mechanics themselves are straightforward. At the start of the fight, the first person to take aggro gets hit with a bleed that can easily one-shot them. So either go in with immunity or let someone else take that first hit. Just remember, if the debuff is already applied, immunity won't save you. Timing matters. Next is the minefield. The dragon spawns yellow circles that explode after a short delay. If you stand in them, you're going to take heavy damage, so move out. Melee players may need to disengage briefly, and it's usually better to wait until the mines are gone before committing debuffs. Finally, there's the egg. It's immune to physical damage and needs to be killed by magic classes. It increases the dragon's defenses but doesn't make it immune. If your squad has enough damage, you can ignore it. If not, deal with it properly.